Hi, you're listening to the Content Source podcast, the show all about how to create content to attract, convert, and keep your ideal clients. I'm Susie Daphnis. Here with me is my co-host, Michelle Falson. Hey, Michelle, how are you?
Hey, Susie, I'm really well. I'm looking forward to today's episode. I know I always say this, but I love it when we have a guest.
I love it when we have a guest too. And this is actually a returning guest, and not many people get to return to the show, but Stacey is. And so Stacey Hughes is who I'm talking about. And on her website, it says, "Hi, I'm Stacey. I love ads." We are
That's
talking
right.
about Facebook ads today. And she goes on to say, "Weird, I know, but once you get your head around how it works, it is such an effective marketing tool to use." She said, "Plus, it's fun." Now, if you've ever run Facebook ads, fun might not be the first word you associate it with it, but that's why I'm excited to have her back on the show to talk about what's working now in Facebook ads. She's a digital ad expert. If you're not familiar with her, she helps online business owners boost their brand awareness and attract more clients with attention-getting digital ad campaigns. And online business owners, she says, may cringe at the F word, the funnel word, but she takes away the overwhelm of creating a funnel that might start with some Facebook ads. So she says that you can build up an organic audience, or you can fast track your results with clever targeted ad campaigns. And she wants women and men, business owners, to know that she's made all the mistakes when it comes to running ads, and that she can support you to sell your courses, build the business of your dreams using ads. So let's go ahead and get her on the line.
Sounds good.
Hey, Stacey, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so glad to have you back, and I know Michelle is too. We were just saying just before we clicked the record button how we don't often have guests back, not for any reason other than it feels like a timely time to have you back to talk about Facebook ads
Yes,
and
I'm
talking
honored to
about
be
what is working now this year, 2025, as we're recording, even though we're getting to the end of the year. What's the big picture? What sort of strategies or campaigns are actually working for small business owners on Facebook and Instagram, like right now? What's getting the best results?
Yeah, so obviously everything with Facebook just changes all of the time. So definitely in this space, there's lots of changes. So definitely around audiences and who you target your ads to, there's been really big changes there. So in the past, we've always done detailed targeting, but
Yes.
now Meta has AI technology to find our audiences for us. So there's a big push now not to do so much detailed targeting and to go really broad with our audiences. And the second thing that's really important with our ad campaigns is around our messaging and our actual ads. So the formats that we're creating for the ads, like video, image, carousels, all of those are the most important things now when it comes to our ads. So really, the big emphasis from Meta is around the messaging and our ads, and not so much worrying about the detailed targeting when it comes to our audiences.
It's kind of counterintuitive. I'm just going to sit in this for a minute because for us, getting to the right client is our priority. So if Facebook's asking us to go wide, is that to get more of our spend, or how is
Yeah.
it beneficial to us to go wider rather than more specific?
So it's, using our messaging and our creative to call out our ideal target and to get that engaging content as well, because that's what they want, the platform wants. And, Meta thinks and it does, it can read our minds, as we know. So it has the pixel data, it has, information from what we do on Facebook and Instagram. So all of that data is fed back to the machine. So they actually know us probably better than we know ourselves. So they have that technology to find our ideal clients. So they want us to spend our time and energy creating, the ad formats that are going to attract people and keep people on the platform.
Yeah, it's so important then that our creative is actually speaking to our ideal client. We talk
Yeah.
a lot about ideal client here on the show. You mentioned AI, and it is everywhere in content marketing, whether it is in platforms like Meta or whether it's being used to create actual videos or or images. And while it can be a great leverage, it can also be intimidating for a lot of people. What's a simple way that you found that business owners can use AI to improve their Facebook or Instagram ads without needing to have special technology or be technology experts?
Yeah, I use AI for meta compliant ad copy, especially if you're in a niche like the health space or
Right.
the financial services industry, and there's particular nuances around your ad copy. So using your AI tool like ChatGPT, I use Perplexity AI. Using those tools to get meta compliant ad copy is really important, and
So
also
it'll tell you like that won't comply?
yeah, that's right. So you ask
Ah,
it, give me 5 versions of meta compliant ad copy for my niche.
interesting.
Yeah, so that is really good, and then also getting those 5 versions of ad copy. So Meta loves you to give it as much information as you can. So doing that long version, short version, and doing those 5 versions is a lot easier to do now that we have those AI
Yeah.
tools. So doing that and the 5 different headlines and the 5 different descriptions. So that's what I use AI tools for when it comes to creating my ads. There are AI tools built into the ad manager platform, and I'm not using those at the moment, especially the ones around the creative. I just
Right.
find they're just not there yet. And you might have experimented with those yourself. But yeah, I'm not using those yet, but I'm sure that's going to change. Meta are spending bucket loads of money in that space, so that will change. But yeah, when it comes to the creative, I'm not using those
It's
inbuilt
not there yet.
tools.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you.
You mentioned a variety of formats. Meta's wanting us to lean into the messaging and, what we're saying in the videos and what we're putting on the carousels and so on. And I did want to kind of mention, obviously, Meta is talking about both Facebook and Instagram, right? We're kind of looking at both of those platforms.
Yes.
Across those platforms, as we're thinking about the ads and the messaging, are you noticing any formats that are, the ones to be leaning on right now, or what's happening with the winning ad formats today? We've got reels, we've got stories, we've got carousels, we've got video, we've got static, and you mentioned long form and short form and so many different
So
formats.
many.
Yeah,
Yes.
what are you finding is getting the traction?
Yeah, so in the past, I've always said you need to test. You need to test all of them to see what's working the best. But now I've actually changed that, and I now say you do have to do video. So you do
Okay.
have to do video, you do have to do reels. But there's different, and maybe you aren't, and obviously preference is face to camera, because especially with AI now, people buy from people, so they want to see you and who's behind the brand. But there are other ways you can use video as well. So you could do, and you might have seen this on Instagram, the 5-second B-roll video, and it has a hook written on the video, and then it has a really long caption as well. So that is one different format. Other formats are voiceovers. Voiceovers are really popular with product and e-commerce business, but you could also use that for your service business as well. So just coming up with different ideas to use video is probably the best performing format that I'm seeing at the moment. But that doesn't say not to do those other formats, because again, there's actually 23 places on Meta, on Facebook and Instagram, where your ads are shown. So it's a really good idea to do lots of different formats. So do your static image, do a carousel, because sometimes people could watch a face to camera video on you, and then they might see the static ad as well, and then be reminded, oh yes, I want to sign up to that webinar. So it's a good idea to do all of the formats, but if you're not doing video or not doing reels, really think about including that in your ad campaign.
Yeah, I think that's such great advice to lean into reels in particular and to lean into video. And, if you are concerned about speaking to camera, maybe it's time to get over that fear, but also that there are other options and opportunities. And so let's just say that we've started to get some traction with these various ad formats that we're using, and we're getting our messaging dialed in, and we're relying on the Meta sort of targeting and so on. What's working right now to nurture the leads that we might already be getting? So how are we moving people through our funnel? How are we getting them from that first sort of thing that they click on or take notice of, and becoming progressively more and more kind of engaged with us to that point, obviously, where we're wanting to lead them, which is when they buy?
Yeah, it's really important to use ads to find our people, to find those leads, but then nurturing them and using connection pieces like, the many chat option, DM the word, because you can put that into your ad copy as well, like comment the word or DM me the word, and then it starts off that many chat automation. So Meta really favors that as well because you are continuing that conversation. There is actually a free version of ManyChat that you can use through Meta Business Suite, and I've got a YouTube training on that. So that's an alternative if you don't want to pay for another subscription. There is a native option in Meta Business Suite to use that. But yeah, just favoring that, connection and nurturing those leads. There's been a lot of money spent in the lead format as well. So Meta want you to start that conversation. So getting that lead via a form, asking qualifying questions, but then continuing on the conversation in your DMs. So yeah, just thinking about ways to nurture those leads. Another important point is when you do get a lead, especially from a lead form, making contact with them straight away. So whether that be via email or SMS, but yeah, nurturing those leads, because we do, don't we hate when, you get those leads and someone signed up to something and they didn't even know what they filled out the form for. So we don't want that. We want to continue to nurture them. And then, retargeting as well is another important point there, to retarget your audiences. And you can use tools such as Zapier, where someone becomes a lead and then you use Zapier to zap them into a custom audience and then retarget them with your offer or the next step in your funnel.
So good. You talked about lead ads, and my gym, for example, they were running them all the time, and they would call someone, I don't know how many hours later, and they'd be like, "Nah, mate, didn't click on that ad." Like they don't. It's just they were getting these dud leads and wasting a whole lot of money. But list building is such an important goal for business owners, and lead ads are kind of an easy way to generate leads. But what's the smartest way to use them? Is the follow up, what you just said, is that the missing piece usually, or is there some other secret sauce around using lead ads?
Yeah, so there's some functions now in the lead form where you can get people to slide to confirm their answers before they actually become a lead. So they've put some little inbuilt features in the lead form. There's also a thing called rich creative form. So you can tell a bit more of a story about your business. So for example, like a gym or a dance studio could have testimonials or the classes that they offer. So you can have all that information like a mini landing page almost inside the form, so people know what they're signing up for. So there's those kind of things. And then also the qualifying questions as well, even asking questions like, your Instagram handle or what business are you in, things like that. Or I don't know, for a gym, what classes are you
It could be what your goals are, or
your goals are, exactly. Yeah. And then that instant follow-up, that's so important. You can't, and there's so many tools these days. We can instantly send an email, we can instantly send an SMS. And oftentimes, depending on what type of business it is, you could call that lead straight away as well. So there's lots of stats around calling those leads as quick as you can.
I want to talk about Instagram specifically, and we talked about Reels. Are they still a big opportunity? And how are you seeing them used well by business owners?
Yeah, I think there's a real opportunity just to not do those overproduced videos and those overproduced reels. So hooks are very important, telling a story. If you can use video or carousels to tell a story about your brand or your business or, customer stories, that type of thing. But yeah, using video and using your mobile phone is just as effective. I see that so many times. Business owners spend thousands of dollars on the overproduced videos, but then the best performing ones are the ones that they made on their mobile phone. So it's all about just, engaging content, connecting with your audience and talking to your ideal client. But doing that, the best way that you can. And even going live, like if you're not doing that now, going live on the platform also helps because it, shows the algorithm, people that are then watching your live, it helps the algorithm know who to target with your ads.
With your ads. Fascinating. I did not know that.
Yes.
So if you're doing organic content,
yes,
that is going to help with the targeting for your ads.
Definitely, because especially now with this whole, broad audience, Advantage Plus targeting, Advantage Plus audiences, all of those signals help your ads. So it says to Meta, this is who is watching my live. So they're going to be interested in my ads and my lead ads and my sales ads. So that's going to help your ads.
Now, trial reels are a feature that I think is fantastic in the idea that you can target non-followers, but it isn't available to all. We can't seem to get it at the moment, and we don't know why. But could you tell us a little bit about what it is and why it's an opportunity for business owners to start using it if they can get their hands on it?
Yeah, so Meta are sort of going down the road of the TikTok road of showing your content to non-followers. And you might see this on your platform if you look at your insights, that a lot of your organic content is now not just being shown to your followers, but to non-followers. Yes. So that's a great thing because, we don't have to have those big amounts of followers anymore.
Right.
But yeah, trial reels shows those reels to non-followers, and so if those people are then interested in your content, they will follow you. So there's a real opportunity there to grow your followers that way. I've started experimenting with them myself. I haven't found great traction with it yet, but it is very new. As you said, there's a lot of people that don't even have it yet. Yeah. I even turned one of my trial reels into an ad, and I haven't found anything great about that yet. But again, all of these things can change.
Because one of the things about it is, yes, you get to go to new non-followers, but it is that you can test creative. You can test it on the trials and then make ads out of it. Do you know what the rollout situation is, why some have it, why they don't? Is it just a matter of time?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. It's just something that you could even just, delete your app, and then you might have tried that already, and then just re-upload the app, and then you may have it. So it might just be one day. You
don't lose your content, I assume, if you do that.
Oh yeah, sorry. Just take it off your phone.
I see what you mean.
It's not unsubscribe to
uninstall.
Uninstall and reinstall it, but all your content will be there.
All of your content's the same, and you'll log in the same, but just your app on your phone. Because I know that happened to me with captions. I lost captions for a while.
Oh gosh!
I uninstalled my app, reinstalled it, and I had captions back. So I don't know if that is the same for trial reels, but one day you might just log in and you'll have it.
Okay, thanks.
But isn't that the case with all forms of tech? Like if it's not working, just turn it off and turn it back on again.
Unplug it, plug it back in.
Exactly.
So you're giving so many great tips, and I guess we can kind of pick up the inverse. Like if we're not doing that, that's a mistake. But I'd love to know if there's any particular missteps that we're making right now that you want to particularly call out. Like what are some of the outdated strategies? Maybe we think we're doing the right thing, but actually it's hurting us. Or what are some common things that you see people doing that you're like, if people could just stop doing this, I'd be really happy with their results.
It's probably around the detailed targeting and the audiences. And it is a really hard concept for us to get our heads around because we know our ideal client and we want to be able to specify who that is. And so, that's probably, I know it's hard, but just letting go of that and putting our faith and trust in Meta that they will find our ideal client. But probably just experimenting with those different types of reels and even hooks and things like that. So that hook story offer format for your reels, looking at that as well. A lot of people want to use just images, and that's fine. But just using a video a bit more and bringing that into your content.
I know you've been sharing about the creatives and what's kind of working and things. I want to dig into a couple of things that you've mentioned that our listeners might be thinking, okay, I kind of get what that is, but what is it really? And one of those things is hooks. So you've mentioned hooks a few times.
Yeah.
What would you sort of give as an example? I know there's many, many ways we can create hooks at the front of our ads, but like what might be for the person that's thinking, I kind of sort of know what that is, but really what is it? How might you illuminate that for them or give an example?
Well, I've actually been using AI to help me with hooks and help my clients with hooks as well. So that could be a really good place to start for your business, working out what hooks are. But yeah, just trying to get your ideal client with their pain points. So something that they're going to identify with. So for example, one that I just did for myself yesterday was around get more leads for less than the cost of your coffee. So just straight away, nailing that, people don't want high lead costs. So, how can they do that? So just coming up with that really short, concise, hook to bait, I guess, your ideal client, but really get them interested to know that they want to know more about you. And then you tell a bit of a story about you, why you're the best person to help them with that pain point that they have, or help them with the transformation that they might want, and then your offer. So it might be come to your webinar, or whatever the next step you want them to take, your call to action. So that's kind of the format that I go with when it comes to creating those ads, so those reels, or the stories to capture people with the ad format.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of the hook is to capture attention, right? To stop the scroll, to have somebody pause a little longer over your reel or your post, or to scroll through your carousel. And so you mentioned like hook content, right? Like ideas that they'll be really interested in.
Yeah.
But there are also some very strong visual hooks as well, like interesting imagery that you could put on, or something that you're doing visually in your reel. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so keeping it interesting. So B-roll, using B-roll video. So B-roll is just like 5 seconds of, or a couple of seconds of you doing something, taking some sort of action. So it can be used to tell a story. So if you are doing a voiceover or face to camera, you might cut in with some B-roll to help illustrate that story a bit more. Or you could just use B-roll, like, you walking down the beach, or you on your computer, or you drinking a coffee. But it's that hook. And it's like that really engaging message on the visual. And then what you then want them to do is then read more about the story in the caption. So then you directing them to do that on the visual as well. So it might be something like, your hook, find out more, and then they read the long caption.
Love it.
Very good. Now, of course, you would do this with your clients, but as small business owners, we're not always measuring or knowing what to measure to know, is this campaign successful? Like, we think the only measurement is, am I making a sale? What metrics do you suggest that we focus on right now if our goal is we want to ultimately get more sales?
Yeah, so probably the first important point to know when it comes to metrics and looking at your campaigns is that you are running the correct campaign, because a lot of business owners think they're running ads, they're boosting, or they're using their campaigns such as traffic or engagement. And there's a place for those in your strategy, but they are going to get you clicks and likes and video watches, and that's fine for that. But if you want leads, then Meta's literal, and you have to use the lead campaign. So then when it comes to your metrics, you're looking at the cost per lead. So that's what I call the primary metrics, the most important ones. And then when it comes to sales as well, your cost per sale. So they are the first things that I look at. But then the secondary metrics I look at are things like click-through rate. So when your ads are shown to people, what percentage of people actually clicked through. And so 1% or greater is what you want to look for there. If it's less than 1%, then you know that there's an issue with your messaging or maybe with your ad creative. So you would look at changing those things. Frequency is another secondary metric I
Yes.
look at. So how many times someone saw your ad in one day. If it's 3 or more, I change out the graphics. Again, if you're only doing 1 or 2 formats, like maybe one image and one carousel, you're going to hit that frequency really quickly. So having lots of different formats is really important there. And landing page views is probably another one I look at, making sure people are going from my ad to my website. And then also you know, as a marketer, we also then have to track what happens to those leads after that. So then how many of those people, you know, became our paying clients. So they're the kind of metrics I look at. But additionally, another one that I'm really looking at the moment is watch time. So how many people are watching your videos and when they're dropping off. So you'll see it's like 5 seconds. So as a small business owner, we can make changes quite quickly, just knowing that those first 5 seconds are critical. So what you say, what image comes up, you can really, you know, make changes there quickly, just in that, those first 5 seconds.
This is so good. Now, you mentioned YouTube, so obviously that's somewhere that we want to see what Stacey's doing. We're going to put a link to in our show notes to all the different places that you can connect with Stacey, and of course, definitely hit her up if you're wanting done with you, done for you kind of service. You've also got a free download that we're going to make available. Do you want to say a few words about that, and then we'll give people the link a little later on?
Yeah, for those people that know that they need to be running ads and they might not be running ads at the moment, I've got 5 e-lessons that you can watch on my YouTube channel, and it just helps you get started, making sure you get everything set up correctly. Things like the pixel, I know that sounds scary, but it's just a piece of code to track people, and making sure your ad account and your business manager is secure. We don't want people to hack in and get access to our assets. So I go through 5 lessons on how to do that, and then how to get yourself ready to run your first ad campaign.
Typically this time of year, we move very much into planning the next year with our members. What are they working on next year? What campaigns are they going to be running? When are they going to be running them? Is there anything you'd like to leave us with as we start to project forward to how to use Facebook and Instagram and, well, any ad platform, but moving forward?
Yeah, probably always having a list building ad running. So growing your database, getting people out of social media onto your database, because that's the important part, so we can further nurture them, but always running a campaign. And I know a lot of people want to only run when they're launching and things like that, but Meta does really favor people that are running campaigns all the time, because you're building up, you know, the signals of who's engaging with your ads as well, but even you can dial up the budget. So even if you're not launching, or times are lean, you could just dial that budget down and then dial it back up again, but always be running a list building campaign. That's probably my number 1 piece of advice. So if you're not doing that now, getting ready for 2026 with that list building campaign ready to go.
Stacey, thank you so much for joining us. This has been fantastic, very informative.
No worries. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. We will be giving you all the details to catch up with Stacey in just a couple of minutes. Stacey, thank you again.
No worries. Thank you.
I loved hearing from Stacey and hearing what's new in Facebook and Meta, getting some quick hacks. So good.
It's always good, isn't it? I mean, it's a constantly moving feast, and I think unless you're keeping up to date, maybe we need to get Stacey back again another time, right? Just to stay in touch. So many great tips, and I was making notes. I'm sure our listeners were making notes. One thing, though, that I really wanted to just underline about what she said was that real shift towards just doubling down on getting good messaging, having things to say, saying the things in a way that capture people's attention, and letting, it's kind of like letting Meta do what it does, which is it will use its algorithms, it will use its AI, it will use its tech to give you the right people. It wants you to keep advertising on its platform. So instead of trying to, like we used to, say everybody who follows this person and everybody who's, doing this or this type of categorization, letting that go and letting your message speak for itself to self-select those people, and being really, really aware of the things she said about the first 5 seconds. if people are not interested, that it is so easy to just keep running that finger along the screen or scrolling on the mouse right on past your content. So you've got to get their attention in the first second or two and then keep them for that 5 seconds or more, because once Meta sees, oh, they're saying something interesting, they're going to give you more people. But if people are scrolling on by, it's a downward spiral versus an upward spiral. And I really she called that out.
Yeah, and I think that matches really, really well with the idea of trying the different formats. And as I mentioned in the conversation, I was like, I've been really off lead ads. It's like, what a waste of money. You know, you're getting all these unqualified leads that are just clicking buttons. But the fact that there have been changes and you can qualify people and you can say a little more about your services, so people have to be very deliberate about clicking that button, I think is great. And, you know, it's like we can get stuck in our way of being. And it's like, oh, maybe we're daring to do video, but we're only doing video. What if we also did a carousel? What if we did a static video as well, and then just let Meta show it to the right people and see which one comes to the fore? And it isn't like, yes, we want to be doing video, even if it scares the heck out of us, but knowing that we want to sort of spice it up a little bit and use what formats are available. And just like we talked about trial reels, it's like, okay, try a trial reel. Like try these things, get out of your own way. And if you do need support, there are organizations like Stacey's that will help you do that. All you need to do is you need to know your messaging, right? You need to know who your ideal client is. You need to have some of the foundations that we talk about here on the show, like who's my ideal client? What is it that I'm trying to sell? And what am I going to do with them? What is my messaging? And then what am I going to do with them once they come in? And she made a really good point about that follow-up as well. So lots of goodness. This is one to rewind and listen to again. And so thank you again, Stacey, for joining us once again on the show. And we will have the links, the resources, including the freebie that Stacey mentioned in our show notes. And I'll tell you where to get the show notes in just a second. We love to share these tips. We love having a guest on, as Michelle said, and we love to share the episodes with as many people as possible. So if you enjoyed this episode and you are taking something away, we would love it if you would do us a favor and go ahead and review on Apple Podcasts. We have over 100 5-star reviews, or you can come to our page over on Facebook and make a comment, or wherever you see an episode posted, make a comment, let us know you like it, and we will give you a shout out here on the show. And the person we want to shout out right now is the lovely Gab Burke. She helps female business owners glow up their podcasts, get more listeners, get more reach, be more successful as podcasters. And we were listed in some list, I don't know which one it was, Michelle, that was top 10 content podcasts, and Content Cells was listed. And she said, woohoo, this is so good to see. And so well deserved. This podcast is invaluable and such an incredible resource. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Gab. We adore you. Gab is a member of the Hurt Business community. And as I said, she is helping women with their podcasts. And we will put a link to Gab in the show notes as well as a big thank you. Thank you, Gab. So anything we mentioned here on the show, you are going to find over at herbusiness.com/meta now. That's herbusiness.com/meta now. Now, Michelle, do we know what we're doing in the next episode? We're going to keep it a secret.
We know what we're doing. We are going to be talking about social proof and how to build a system for capturing when somebody says something great about your business, or when a client has a win, or something that proves to the other people that haven't bought from you yet that you are somebody to buy from, you are somebody to listen to. And so many times, all this gold is just going through to the keeper. Like, we're just missing it. We're reading this great email we got from somebody, and then we're going, that's nice, and filing it away. But what are we doing? What systems are we putting in place to harvest that social proof, and then to use it, you know, to have it available to us to use when we need it, where we need it, how we're thinking about it in terms of themes or handling objections, or all of these ways that we can leverage social proof. And we've talked a lot on the show about the power of social proof. And this is a system to really support you to make the most of this very, very powerful kind of tool that you have in your toolbox for persuading people and getting their attention, and most importantly, getting them to buy from you.
Yeah, I love it. And social proof is such an influence pattern. It's a powerful influence pattern. So that episode's coming up 2 weeks from today. So if you don't already subscribe to the show, be sure to hit follow or subscribe wherever you are listening. Thank you again to Stacey. Michelle, anything you want to say before we go?
I want to reiterate that thanks to Stacey, and go ahead and check out her resource that she's sharing, and check out what she's doing online. She's a good one.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you back right here next time on the Content Source podcast. Bye for now.